Maccabees TV. We here at the Israelite Summit, and as you can see, man, I have my brother here, the young, phenomenal, divine prospect. Shalom, King. What's going on, man?
Shalom, Mark. How you doing, man?
Everything is everything, man. I see you really active, so I have a lot of things I want to ask you about. But before I ask you about anything, I want you to tell the people what you've been up to since you last been on Maccabees TV.
Yeah, so, man, last time I've been on Maccabees TV was last year, I think. It was at the Million Man March. And there I was working on my academic textbook, which is still in the works. And I'm still working on. As of late, though, I've been pushing out a lot of scholarship in regards to Hebraic hermeneutics and apologetics in defense of our paradigm against other worldviews such as Christianity. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lecture a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago, in LA with a big, well-known pastor. Never showed up. You know what I'm saying? So, I had to do the dissertation myself and actually give out an outline for the Christians out there, what it is, the basic tenets that all of Israel actually agrees upon, you know what I'm saying, the Hebrew Israelite community. So, there's a lot of projects I'm working on. I got a reality show coming up. My website is about to be launched soon. And I have research projects in Africa via the ISSAJ that I'm about to join and be a member for in about a few weeks. ISSAJ is the International Society on, got the other S, Jewish, they call it Jewish or African Jewry, excuse me. And pretty much what that is that all of the Israelite communities that's in Africa are true. They have their scholars that are part of this community, and they have other scholars that are part of this community. And pretty much what they're doing is putting together a knowledge base about the history of the Israelites, their migration to these regions, their customs, their culture, their religion, etc. And pretty much when you join this community, you get to meet these other groups. You get to submit your scholarly articles and so forth. Get to review their scholarly articles. Go to the conferences when they have them. They have one in South Africa. They have one in France, I have one in London, and what I'm doing is going in here to segue my scholarship so that way I can bring that data and resources back here to our community. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So Devon, I have a really quick question for you, which may require a long answer.
That's fine.
I want to talk to you about methodology. You put a very, very important post on Facebook about a week ago, where you were speaking to Israel about knowing the difference about parsing in the scriptures, so forth and so on. You're familiar with that post I'm talking about, right? How important is methodology when we're studying the scriptures in order for us to combat the Christian apologists that are attacking Israel? It's very, very important, I know. So you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so methodology is the method in which you approach your studies, right? And it should be done so in a systematic way to reduce errors and be able to increase the amount of results that you yield when you go into your studies. Because if I go in to study something and I come out and I'm confused, I'm not sure, then that means my methodology is not sound because it's not yielding results, right? So the reason why I made that post is because I knew that there's some Christians that are following my page and reporting back to the apologists, right? Because they're trying to look to see and figure out who different people are in our community. So when I seen that James White had mentioned Deuteronomy 28:68, and he said, well, I want to speak to an Israelite that knows real Hebrew, not that Lashawan Kodessa, but real Hebrew, right? So I said to myself, okay, well, he's demeaning things that we have in our community, but that's fine, let's go there. So I put a post up because I want our community to be aware, because since he's not mentioning my name and nobody's really suggested him to me, actually they did and he actually turned it down, I said I'm going to give this information out to the community so that way they can be poised in order to respond if they come into a situation where they have to engage that community. So I said, okay, cool. I made the post that my brother Priest Anyala spoke about, and then I did an impromptu video off the dome. It wasn't planned anything like that. I have a Shabbat service that's coming up, this Shabbat coming up, a lesson, and I'm actually going to go do the language in regards to the Exodus, dealing with how many Israelites actually left out. So that way we have that as well, defending against the Kemetic community. So being an apologist, the objective is how do I securitize and protect the worldview that I have in light of other worldviews. And now the Christian community has their apologists and their theologians analyzing and trying to study the Israelite community and trying to play us like we don't know anything about hermeneutics, how to exegete the text, or how to defend our worldview, or even how to parse. Parse just means conjugate or separate the root from modifiers to understand what's going on in the linguistics of the text. So what I wanted to do was just put that teaser out there to encourage our community to get into it more deeply, just so that way we can respond to all of these allegations that we don't know what we're talking about and all this other stuff, so we can better respond to those type of things and not be left out there looking crazy. So within our community, we control our own culture, we can disseminate the way we want to, but now when it comes time to represent ourselves in the light of the secular realm, it's a different strategy we got to take in order to better present what our argument is for why we Hebrew Israelites here in America today.
Right. Also wanted to ask you briefly about textual criticism, because I know that you've studied that in depthly.
Yeah.
I've also studied that in depthly. I definitely want to hear what you have to say on the subject. How important is linguistics as far as us knowing our language, and how important is textual criticism in the whole scope of this argument that we're having as far as theologians are concerned?
Gotcha.
Because you have some Israelites that are very dogmatic, that will only use the King James Bible.
Yep.
You have other Israelites that use different texts. Then we have arguments about which one of the Hebrew editions we should use.
Exactly.
Should we use the Masoretic text? Should we use this? Should we use that? How important is these subjects, and will you be doing something on these subjects in the future?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of my material that I would like to put out, I haven't done yet because a lot of it's reserved for the website. So I have a lot of study group sessions. I have anywhere from 60 to 100 students that actually teach consistently, and I break down a lot of this stuff for you guys. What I decided to do was, in the last video I have on Kingdom Harmony Ministries on the YouTube channel, I gave a sample of one of my study group sessions so people can get some insight into stuff that I disseminate. Now, in regards to textual criticism is looking at various manuscripts, contrasting and comparing them, and be able to deduce from the data that's there what the original would have said, because we don't have any autographs of our scriptures. So you have to look at the various text types or families of manuscripts, and once you compare them, you look for the common denominator, and you deduce that all the similarities is originally what the text said, and the numerators can be dependent upon the scribe's educational background, his locale, the time period, the environmental stresses, the political weight that was on them. So textual criticism is a way to actually examine all of this information and be able to extract from it the intended purpose of the original author or the scribe of the actual text itself. So this is important because it allows us to look at the garment of data that's out there and to actually make a better informed decision on what approach we're going to take into our studies. So a lot of Israelites, some of them don't see the importance of that, and it came about when the Christian community started rubbing shoulders with us. Now those same brothers that was telling me, oh, that's important, we don't need to do that. So they're coming to me and ask me, how do I respond to this? How do I respond to that? And I said, listen, this is what I've been trying to share or contribute to the community for a long time. So all I'm trying to do is just put that out there so that way we can make a better informed decision to see which text is better than other texts, which one we should use. Now, I never tell anybody don't use the King James. The King James is still good, but there's other things in the King James that need some reworking that we can actually do ourselves now that we're in a time age where we have more information, access to more tools than our elders had. They didn't have access to a lot of this information that we have today. So to do the best service we can to them is to take their foundation they laid and build something on top of that. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to contribute something so that way we have good methodology for examining text to better defend against these different schools of thought that's trying to undermine our culture and who we are today.
All right, King, I ain't gonna hold you because I know you're here to definitely speak with the brothers and the sisters here at the summit. I just wanted to get you on Maccabees real quick because, you know, people haven't heard from you in a while. I'm hoping to grab a few of your lectures, with your permission, and put them on Maccabees TV. So with that being said, before you go, is there anything else you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I want to say that I'll be back in a couple of weeks. I should be back in a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna do maybe a 10-15 minute sit down with Priest Anya Allah, give a priest presentation. So that way, one second. To do a brief,
hold up. Yo.
one second, just record it. To do a brief presentation, about 10-15 minutes, exclusively for Maccabees TV, because I owe that to my brother Priest Anya Allah. You know what I'm saying? I want to tell the people that I love you, Israel. I'm on the front lines fighting for y'all against the Christian community, against the Kemetic community, because my objective is not to degrade those communities, but show the communities the importance of the work that we're doing here in America as a Hebrew Israelite community, because we have a culture that we're trying to maintain so that way we can implement autonomy and create different industries within our nation to be self-sustainable. So with that, this is Divine Prospect at Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. I want to say shout out to Priest Daniela and LOI. We out here at the Israelite Summit, breaking bread with the brothers, meeting new brothers. This is my first summit that I've been to. First time being exposed to a lot of stuff that's been here. They actually had camp yesterday too. That's my first time being there at camp. Daniela wasn't there, but he had a representative for LOI there. And it was interesting, you know what I'm saying? I learned some stuff. I was exposed to some new things. And I gotta say, the stuff that the brothers are doing here to bring unity amongst the various camps. I mean, y'all can say what you want about camp doctrine and all of that, but these brothers are actually trying to put the unity in motion. And that's something that we have to give them extreme credit for. So with that, I say peace, shalom, and I love you, family.
The water. Shalom.